Right, happy April Fools to everybody. April 1st, we finally made it through March, which seemed like a super long month. We've been at home for a few weeks already. It seems like we've been at home for months. Hopefully, we can come back to school. But I don't know for what it sounds like. It seems like the coronavirus will spike up in the next upcoming weeks. And hopefully, by summertime, everything will be better. But we're taking it day by day, and there's just so much news, and everything changes so quick. So I'll keep you updated with what I hear. But as of right now, the superintendent still says that we're not coming back to school until May 5th. So here's this article that I want to show you really quick. Some of you did this reading, or the first reading of this, the Colvin brothers. Remember, they went to Tennessee, or they live in Tennessee, and they stockpiled a lot of basically items that people need and want right now, like hand sanitizers, and they sold it for high prices. This is called price gouging. And basically, what the brothers did with all of these wipes and hand sanitizers was that they donated all of them to churches around the area. But it does seem like he's under investigation from the Tennessee Attorney General office. I don't know what's happening to him right now, but if I find out anything, I'll let you all know. So at least it seems like people that need the items are hopefully getting it, and he's not making profit off of people's fears and the situation right now. And here's another meme that I found that was really funny. Me leaving everybody's house. And there's some toilet paper here. Alright, so moving on to Unit 3, Microeconomics. Section 2 is Budgeting Project. And we're going to be focusing on jobs. So the agenda, content, objective, I'll be able to understand the difference between a blue collar and white collar job. Central question, how will I be able to budget my money in the future? And the vocabulary, we have blue collar, white collar, skilled workers, unskilled workers, semi-skilled workers, and affinity map. The affinity mapping we will not do because we are not in class right now, so don't worry too much about that. And this is what I'm going to do. So overview of the project, research on your future job, and then project example. I'll probably go over this next time after spring break. Framing of the work, I will be learning about different jobs. 2, I'm learning this by playing spent, lecture, close reading on GIST template, presenting and researching. I will demonstrate my knowledge by presenting a reading and completing my budgeting project. So you won't be presenting a reading because we're not in class. 4, I'm learning this to determine central ideas to present readings about personal finances and to also research to complete my budgeting project. So hopefully you enjoyed the last activities, which was the game play spent and also some financial literacy quizzes. I'll see how you did when I check them. Hopefully this upcoming week or so. Let's continue. Alright, so these are some statistics about Lincoln Heights. Basically up here, we have the income. So Lincoln Heights, the city, for people that live in the city, they don't make that much. They're actually really low on the LA County list of median income. The median income is $30,574, and that's basically nothing. If you look at the education level, only 5.5% of residents 25 and older have a 4-year degree. That might be due to the fact that a lot of people are immigrants that have come as adults. So the numbers might be a little bit skewed, but you have the opportunity as young adults to change the statistics. Next year, you all will go off to college, and once you finish, you'll probably make this number a little higher. So you look at the numbers here. Out of all the residents in Lincoln Heights, 10,000 have less than a high school diploma. 2,000 have a high school diploma. 1,864 have a high school diploma and some college degree. And then 642 have a high school diploma and a bachelor's degree. And only a few have a master's degree or higher. That's really low. So we know that education, the trade-off is you go to school, you take on some loans, but the outcome hopefully is that you'll be paid more in the future. So these are the statistics based on backgrounds or races. So we have white, orange, black is blue, Hispanic is red, and Asian is purple. So no high school diploma. This is the income level. So we have a high school diploma here. And then you go all the way to the end. So it looks like Asians are doing really well in the statistics. If you look at all of them, they are competing with the whites for being the highest paid group. So we think Asians are doing pretty well. But in reality, if you look at the poverty rate of Asians, it's pretty high. The poverty rate is about, I believe, 5% in the US. And if you look at these Asian groups, it's really high. We got 27% for the Hmongs, Cambodians 18.8%, Samoans 16.2%, got Vietnamese at about 14%, and so forth. Let me check the poverty rate right now really quick. So I stand corrected. In 2018, the poverty rate was 11.8%. So you look at all these groups up here, they're higher than the national average, which is pretty crazy. So we're going to move on to different jobs now. So remember, education is really important because it ties into the opportunities and careers that we might have in the future. So there are different types of workers, two different types. So the first type is a white-collar worker. They perform job duties in an office and earn a salary. So a salary is a fixed payment, and these people that work white-collar jobs, they know how much they'll be getting paid for the year for their services. So this is pretty good. There's a lot of stability here because you already know what you'll be getting for the year. And then these people are highly skilled and trained professionals with formal education. I'll go into more detail in a little bit. And then we have blue-collar workers. So blue-collar workers are non-agricultural labor jobs, and these people work with their hands. So it's really tiring jobs. Maybe some of you might be interested in this, some of you might not be interested. But this is very labor-intensive, and you'll be really exhausted physically at the end of the day. So some are really highly skilled workers who are trained and certified. And most of these do not require formal education, but some of them do, such as those that where you get certified. For example, there's barbers, nail salon workers, plumbers. These jobs, they're blue-collar workers, but you still need a certificate and some training to get these positions. I think this video is pretty funny. It highlights the differences between the blue-collar and the white-collar workers. Maybe some of you will watch The Office.
Alright, this is your desk, big desk. Now, you may look around and see two groups. White collar, blue collar,
a really bad joke, but the show is really funny. You see the white collar workers, the people that work in the office. The blue collar workers are the people that work in the warehouse. So this is visually a good example of white collar and blue collar. So we're gonna move on to different skill levels of jobs. There's 3 different skill levels. So you got unskilled workers, semi-skilled workers, and skilled workers and professionals. So unskilled workers. These are jobs that do not require any specialized training. So some examples are McDonald's cashiers, maintenance workers, seamstress or car washers. And if you look at these jobs, they're not necessarily people that don't have any skills. This is just how it's defined. So they're labeled unskilled, but in reality, they do have skills. I remember when I was in high school, I worked for the YMCA as a maintenance worker. And my first couple of days there, they made me sweep. And then the lady that has been working at the YMCA for, I don't know, 20 years or so, she saw how I was sweeping and she was like criticizing me and making fun of me. And there's even ways or correct ways to sweep, which is pretty crazy. So people that work these jobs, they do a lot, but they're considered unskilled. They usually get paid very little, which is unfortunate, but that's their label. And then you see seamstresses. They work with the machines, which are pretty difficult to use. I don't even know where to start if you place me in front of a sewing machine. Then next we got semi-skilled workers. So semi-skilled workers are jobs that require some training with the use of technology, and these people have to think on the job and they make decisions on the spot. So some examples are waiters and waitresses, where you work with people, you have to have communication skills, and sometimes maybe if a person is complaining about their food, you have to think on the spot and think about what you will do. And then another example are people that catch fish on boats, the industrialized workers, where they use those huge nets and they catch a bunch of fish. For example, like The Deadliest Catch, if anybody watches that show. That's pretty difficult because you have to be able to use those machines on the ship. And then you have flight attendants, taxi drivers, security guards. So these are all semi-skilled workers. These people have to think on the spot. And sometimes they use technology. And lastly, we have skilled workers and professionals. So these are people that learn their craft through vocational schools, or they learned it through maybe being an apprentice or watching someone that's a little more highly trained and learning from them. And these jobs definitely require a lot of decision-making skills in the heat of the moment. For example, fast food cooks, they need to know the sanitation rules, they need to know the temperature to store foods, they need to know how to cook foods correctly, and when food is ready to eat and when it's still raw. On the right side, you see maybe some of your favorite teachers, Mr. Yam, and you see Mr. Zapata. So being a teacher is definitely a skilled worker because we deal with 30, 35, 40 kids sometimes in a classroom. And for the most part, kids, they're unpredictable sometimes. Some classes, kids are all wild, while other classes, it's a little more tame, a little more mature. So you get definitely a balance, but sometimes you gotta think on the spot on what you're going to do. And then to go back a little bit, so remember, we got blue collar workers and white collar workers, and within the blue collar jobs and the white collar jobs, you have people that work at all 3 skill levels. So there are white collared unskilled workers, there are blue collared unskilled workers, there's blue collared semi-skilled workers, and white collar semi-skilled workers, and so forth. Okay. So we're going to move on to the budgeting project. Basically, the budgeting project will allow you to think ahead to the future and think about jobs that you want to work, the school that you want to go to, uh, basically cars or the car that you want, where you want to live and rent. It'll take into a cost. It'll take into account the cost of groceries and different things that you like. Basically, the lifestyle that you want to live in the future. You'll see how much money you make based on the profession that you choose, and then based on that, you'll be able to see how much you could spend on different aspects. So, budgeting project. I'll post these pages on Schoology, but we'll be going through each section together. Don't worry too much about it. So, economics budget project planner. Introduction. Picture yourself 4 to 5 years in the future. You are about 22 years old, done with college, trade school, or any other options you choose for yourself after high school. You are out of your parents' house, hopefully. You have your first job and are now completely on your own. You must now figure out how you are going to budget your money based on your take-home pay. So the goal of this is to not spend over how much money you actually have, because if you do spend over how much you have, then you will be in debt, and that's not a good place to be. Remember, the goal is to save a little bit of money each month. So the task is, now that you are ready to jump into the working world, your job is to create a personal budget from scratch. Do not assume that you have anything. You must buy a car, and if you are planning to go to college, you will have student loans. And just assume that your parents won't pay for anything. So some of you already have your financial aid package, which is good. So you can see how much money you're planning to get in financial aid. So you have to do research and complete the budgeting handout sheet. Along with that, you will type your economics budget project on Google Docs as we go through the different aspects of the project. The areas that you must include are as follows. Fixed expenses. So these are things that stay the same from month to month. For example, rent and mortgage. How much you pay per month. Student loans, car payments, car insurance, health insurance, and your credit card. And then variable expenses are food. So groceries, restaurants, snacks, cell phone, internet, electricity, clothing, entertainment, gas, cable TV, and so forth. There's other things like going to the barber shop, getting a haircut, doing your nails, that you can also add down here as well. So first off, you will need to decide on what job / occupation you want to take on in the future, which is what you'll be doing today. You will have to figure out the annual gross pay, monthly gross pay, and monthly take-home pay. So this budget handout sheet or budgeting handout sheet, you'll fill this out as we go along, and you'll be able to see how much you're spending on each item. So yearly salary, so once you find your job and you find out how much they pay, put the number here, and then your monthly take-home pay. This will be after taxes. I'll show you a website later on that you could go to that will help you out, and it'll tell you how much you'll be taking home. It's a pretty good estimate. So let me go back. So I'll post this on Schoology as well. Basically, you have to look up 2 different jobs. Remember, give yourself options. So maybe what you initially wanted to do, maybe you don't like how much they pay. At least you have another option here that you could choose. Maybe they pay a lot better and you like it a little more after doing some research. So for your 2 job research, or for your 2 job options, what you need to do is tell me the job description. Why did you choose this career? Name of company / location. So remember, this is really important because it will dictate where you will be living. For example, if you find a job in New York, but you want to live in LA, that won't work because it's all the way across the country, your job and where you want to live. So definitely find a place that you actually want to live in, or find a job in an area that you want to live in. So educational attainment. So how high in your educational career do you actually need to go to get to this job? Do you only need a master's? Do you need a certificate? Do you need only just a high school diploma? Let me know. So benefits of working here. So this, definitely go to the website of the company that you want to work for. For example, if you want to work for NASA, it'll probably be a good idea to go to their website and figure out what privileges they give to workers. And you have to give me your yearly salary, your gross pay, and your monthly take-home pay. So yearly salary, this is how much you'll get paid for the year. Your gross pay is basically yearly salary divided by 12. And then monthly take-home pay, remember this is after taxes. So your steps, think about 2 jobs you intend to hold in the future. Where would you want to work? LA, Portland, Finland, space, etc. 3, find the location / place of hiring. So it's a good idea to find out the salary as well. And you definitely need to do that. So for example, if you want to be a teacher because of me, look up LAUSD vacancies. Here's a website for you. It'll tell you a list of all the schools that are hiring for different subjects. And then you have to look up the salary as well. So you look up LAUSD teacher salary. It'll give you a table that tells you how much you'll get paid based on your experience. So teachers that barely come to the district, they get paid about $50,000 a year. So if you're thinking about being a teacher, maybe you might want to change your mind after looking at the pay. So once you find your salary, remember, you're figuring out how much the government will take away from you in taxes. Everybody got to pay taxes, unfortunately. And this is why I want you to look up 2 different jobs, because how much you get paid is definitely an important factor on what career you want to choose. It might be a decision between what you actually love doing, but that job might pay you very little, versus a job that you're not really as passionate about, but you still like, but it pays you maybe like tens of thousands of more dollars. So definitely it's important to figure out the salary and the payment for each job. So this is a pretty funny meme. So use a site to find out your gross pay and your take-home pay. So it's called smartasset.com/taxes/paycheck-calculator. I'll post it on Schoology, and you'll just have to click on the link and you'll be able to get to it. So here it is. So your budgeting sheet, remember to fill out your budgeting sheet at the end as well. Filling out your salary and your monthly pay after taxes to see how much you could spend. So remember, what you need to do is fill this out. Remember, you're looking up 2 different jobs and filling in the information for each section. It would be a good idea to have at least 2 to 3 sentences for each question. And then you're going to have to fill out this as well. Remember the budgeting handout sheet. Tell me your yearly salary and your monthly take-home pay. And remember, you're going to have to type this on Google Docs, 12-point font, Times New Roman, and double space. So when you get on Google Docs, just label it jobs on the top. And then here's a little sample that I wrote. The profession that I chose was being a high school teacher for the Los Angeles Unified School District, LAUSD. I wanted to be a high school teacher because I remember growing up in a fragmented education system where my teachers and administrators did not care about the students. I want to be a role model to my students and make sure they understand the strength and resiliency that they hold. As a social studies teacher, I will be able to teach economics, world history, U.S. history, government, and ethnic studies. Some job tasks are caring for over 30 students, lesson planning, so I have something to teach the students, and making sure students understand the importance of their voice. The yearly salary of an LAUSD teacher is $51,000. I would need a bachelor's degree, which takes 4 years to complete, and a teaching credential, which takes around 2 years. The monthly take-home pay would be around $3,300, with about $900 each month going to taxes. So here's a little sample of what I want you to type up for your assignment as well. And these are the websites. So bls.gov/OOH, Indeed.com to actually find a place that's hiring, and then to figure out your take-home pay, smartasset.com/taxes/paycheck calculator. So BLS, here's a website, and just type in whatever job you want to take on. So say teacher, since we're talking about being a teacher already. So high school teachers, and they'll give you all the information that you need here. So here's a little summary. 2018 median pay, so this is your gross income for the year, or your salary, I mean. So you need at least a bachelor's degree. And then let's look at how to become one. So it'll give you all the information that you need for whatever job that you're looking up. Remember, just search it in the handbook right there. And then once you find out how much you'll be making, you'll be going to this website. Remember, make sure the location is in the right location. Every city, every state has a different state tax. So let's say I'm single, I'm making a salary, making $51,000. My pay frequency is monthly. I get paid once a month. And then you see my monthly take-home pay after taxes is $3,300, just about. My gross paycheck is $4,250, and you see all the taxes here. So 14% for taxes, I don't know what that is going to, but that's a lot of money right there. And another 8.6% going to state insurance taxes. Okay. So that is all you need to do for now. Don't worry too much about the other sections, but remember what you need to do is fill out this sheet for 2 separate jobs, answer all these questions. Remember, you'll be using this BLS website, and then you have to fill this out on the top. Tell me your yearly salary and your monthly take-home pay, and then you'll also be typing up your job on Google Docs and sending it to me. Okay. If you have any more questions, just let me know. Message me through Schoology, like most of you have been doing, which is really good. I don't mind answering your questions. And I hope you have a great spring break, where you won't be getting any more work for me or from me for at least a week. Our first Zoom session will be on April 15th, I believe, which is a Wednesday. So definitely keep an eye out on that. And just let me know if you can't make it. It's not a requirement. I just want to be able to check in and make sure I'll be able to answer, I don't know, maybe questions that you have on the assignments that I do post. So hope you take care. Hope you and your family stay safe and enjoy your spring break. Don't be like those spring breakers just going out partying on the beaches or anything. Those people are just really ignorant, and I know most of you or all of you will not do that. So take care. Bye bye.